The best snorkeling on Bonaire Island, but most importantly, for beginners. Because we all want the really pretty views, we want the beautiful water, but we kind of want it to be both easy to get into the water, easy to figure out how to get there, and just logistically close to other fun things versus taking a long drive. So we're actually going to be a little bit controversial, and my number one suggestion is not 1,000 steps. Yes, it will be on the list, but it's not the number one place that I would suggest. Because to be honest with you, I would suggest Salt Pier. Why? Because you have so many things passing through this spot. And not only is it so easy to get in, so close to the downtown area, whether you're at the pier or staying at one of the awesome downtown places, but you can get here very easily, get in the water very easily, and see things immediately like a baby turtle passing through. And so I love Salt Pier because you can get a lot of diversity. There's lots of schools of fish. There might be a big stingray coming through. So even as a snorkeler staying in the shallows or exploring out to the big pillars, you can see a lot of things at Salt Pier. And if you're new here, yo, I'm Christine Lozada with Where in the World is CL, and I make travel videos every week to help you get up, get out, and go travel. So if you like to travel, consider subscribing. I love Bonaire Island. I've been here 3 years in a row, and I can't wait to share with you some of my top tips. So in this video, we're talking about top places to snorkel, some helpful tips, because snorkeling on Bonaire is different than snorkeling in other places like Hawaii or Zanzibar or La Jolla, California. And so there are some things that will be helpful for you to pack and bring with you. Ooh, and just know, like the number one thing, yo, don't get in the water unless you paid your nature fee. STINAPA, which is
basically the nature police. Okay, I won't say that.
The Nature Conservatory Group, will make sure by checking your STINAPA nature tags that you have paid. And every year the price goes up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, link in the description below, along with so many other YouTube videos and tons of blog posts and an Instagram guide and all the things. There's a ton of info in there for you, so don't miss out, and don't forget to pay your nature fee. So like I said about Salt Pier, the entry is really easy. And on this trip, I brought something with me. I brought my meatball boyfriend who totally sucks at snorkeling, and Salt Pier was perfect because getting in is very easy here, and you are guaranteed going to see something cool in the water as soon as you get in. And so Salt Pier is a great one, and obviously if you scuba dive, this also happens to be my favorite scuba diving dive site. But one thing about Salt Pier is, I don't know, the beach is just so-so to hang out at. So my tip for you, after you've had your morning snorkel at Salt Pier, head over to Te Amo Beach, and there's two things here. One, there's Kite City. So the food trucks on Bonaire are very popular. Grab their tuna burger, so delicious. Make sure you check out whatever catch of the day they got going on. Otherwise, the Stoked food truck is over there as well. And then that beach, Te Amo Beach, is very popular for people to hang out at. So have your burger on the beach, hang out underneath one of the trees and enjoy some shade. And then let's head to the next snorkel site. All right, let's keep driving north and let's head over to 1,000 steps because everyone's gonna be curious about this most popular spot. Everyone talks about it. Let's talk about what I don't like first. I don't like how far north it is. It's relatively far, right? It's still only like a 15-minute drive from the downtown area, from the airport area, but the drive up is really pretty, especially when you get right along the water on the road that is shared in both directions, right? You gotta pull over when someone is coming through. It's really pretty over there. And also, as soon as you get to the top of the stairs, oh, here's something I love. It's not 1,000 steps. It feels like 1,000 steps after you've done an hour-long scuba dive and you have to go back up those steps. Or, you know, hour-long snorkel, going back up those steps. But it's not 1,000, it's like, I don't know, like 50 or something like that. It's in my other video. What I don't love is that there's like no parking here. And I get it, Bonaire's kind of quiet, there's not a lot of people, but even if there are like 10 cars there, I mean, there's not a lot of places to park. And that's not really a big deal. You can kind of shove your car somewhere, but there's not that many parking spots. And it's just not somewhere that's used to accommodating more than a couple cars. But along the beach, it's not sand. You're gonna get coral, lots of coral pieces. And so it can be nice to hang out if it's a nice day. Sometimes, occasionally, you'll get a wind that's kind of ripping through with no shady spots at all. So depending on what your jam is, it's not my favorite beach to hang out at, which we will the next site. I love hanging out at the next snorkel spot, which is a must. So 1,000 steps really is beautiful. It just so happened, I mean, I've been diving here a million times, but it just so happened on the day that I was here to snorkel, it was pretty rough. We got some waves out there, so we actually packed up and went to a different spot. But 1,000 steps is cool. On the way back on your drive down south, I love Between Two Buns. That's a great spot to go grab a sandwich or a salad or a boozy milkshake. But don't forget, I have more videos, a blog post about where to eat that talks about Between Two Buns, and a video about all my favorite food spots as well. But let's head across the island to a spot that...
This is a good one.
One of the things that's amazing about Bonaire Island is the water here is so beautiful. But in my opinion, the best water on the island is here at Sorobon and Lac Bay. So this is driving across the island through the middle and over to the east side. And here you'll get like the turquoise water with clear see-through to the bottom. And what's so special about Sorobon is you can walk in the water for 20-30 minutes and still be in waist-high deep water, and there's no sea urchins or things that will like hurt your feet. I still highly recommend a couple things that you should pack. One, water shoes. Especially just when you're getting in and out, not in Sorobon because it's sandy, but for all the other snorkel spots I've talked about, I mean, there's a lot of rocks and there's just, sometimes there's fire coral, there's other things. You just want to make sure you're protecting your feet, because the last injury you want is your feet getting hurt. I'd rather you be hungover or something, for example. But at Lac Bay, really beautiful. And the other thing is the sun is just glaring. And so even though I had 82-degree water when I was there this past time, I still wore a wetsuit, but that wasn't because I was cold. It was because the sun is very intense. And so even if you wore a rash guard or something just in the water to protect your skin, I highly recommend that as well. And it's hot outside and you want to be able to see. I'm not talking about sunglasses. I'm talking about mask spray. So to keep your mask from fogging up, the brand that I recommend, I will link in the description below, but also my Bonaire pack list is free, downloadable, printable, available to you. See the info in the description below. But headed out to Lac Bay, this is a cool one for a couple reasons. The first is it's just cool to hang out over here in the water in general, even if you're not snorkeling. But the tip to this one is you want to go all the way out to the breakers. So where the barrier reef is at and where you can get on boats like East Coast diving to do scuba dives on the other side of the reef. But going out to the breakers is important. You can either get there by walking, it can take like 30 minutes. Swim, it'll probably take you, what, like 20 minutes? But if you get a kayak, and I love Jibe City, I love all the guys there, Jamal, Caesar, Sure, you can rent a kayak from them, $20 for an hour, $30 for 2 hours, and it will get you there super fast. Make sure you ask them for a rope so that you can hold the kayak to your wrist or to your ankle so that it doesn't get taken away with the current. And you can also use it to hold on to, although what's funny about going out there is it's so shallow that you're literally like squatting on the sand as you're just looking down at all of the fish and the coral. On the day I was there, the breaks were pretty big, like the waves were pretty big. So we didn't go to the other side because the swells are huge. Depending on the time of year you're there, you can calmly go to the other side and snorkel some of the really cool dive sites. You can snorkel at Whitehole, where a lot of things hide in there. Or you can just see tons and tons of turtles. There's a million turtles that are coming through that area and headed to Turtle City. That info is in my East Coast diving video. Sorobon and Lac Bay. Ooh, my tip for you for afterwards, go to Sebastian. Sebastian has their standard restaurant downtown, fantastic, but Sorobon Beach Sebastian has a lunch menu and they're open daytime only. They think they close around 6 p.m., but a fantastic place to have some wine, enjoy the view, and have some lunch. Oh, wait a minute, what am I talking about? Caribe. Caribe is where it's at. Get that fish of the day wrap. Oh my gosh, it's fire, and it's only like $12. So good. By the way, if you're getting some value out of this video, cheers that like button, consider subscribing, check the info in the description. All right, let's talk about the next one. This one is super unique, and this one requires a tour. So if you go to the Mangrove Center, again on the east side, you can take a kayak tour that has a snorkel aspect to it. There's a lot of cool baby things and schools of fish hiding in the mangroves out there. It's actually something I would recommend. So if you like to kayak, especially through mangroves, and you like that kind of beautiful view, don't miss that one. It's actually really cool. Ooh, I'm gonna say something controversial right now, which is, and hold on, I love boats. Like being on a boat is one of my most favorite things in the world. But I'm not sure if you need to get on a boat to be able to snorkel in Bonaire. And I'm not convinced that going to Klein Bonaire, which nothing is there at all, which that is also the appeal. Nothing is there. But there's a lot of places in Bonaire that are logistically significantly easier to get to, in which no one is there. And you can have the entire beautiful beach to yourself. Anyway, that's beside the point. Going on a boat, I would say yes if you're going with a group of friends, you're there to drink, have lunch, enjoy the views, be on a catamaran or something, absolutely. Links in the description below to some of the top rated Viator tours, which are easily cancelable if your plans change. That's important to me. But getting on a boat isn't necessary for the best snorkeling, but let's talk about something special. No, literally something special. That's the name of this dive site. And the reason why I brought Meatball to snorkel here is a couple reasons. One, actually, it's a beach that a lot of the locals go to. You know you're there because you'll see the beautiful mural that's over there. We couldn't find parking right away, so we kind of started somewhere a little bit down from something special and then snorkeled back toward it. But what's cool about it is, one, super easy entry. There's like no waves on this part of the island. And so getting in is very, very easy. And I love being around the boats. It's cool because all like the anchors are there, the buoys that hold up the boats with the anchors, and there's always like fish and coral around there. You can just find some neat things kind of hiding. And it's really, really nice just to be right in the heart. This is a logistically easy snorkel. You're right in the heart of downtown. Very easy to get into the water here, and you're guaranteed gonna see something very quickly. We even saw some really big tarpon in the shallows. That was really surprising. They were literally right on the shore. It was real, I could see the car while I was looking at the tarpon. But you can find some really cool stuff at Something Special. Two other things I would recommend. We picked up a floaty from Vend and Tweel, which is the local grocery store that everyone goes to. Again, info in the description for all my other helpful videos. Grab a floaty for $5. That will help you out. Another thing I recommend is a wet bag so that you can bring your important belongings with you. And if you're wondering how I'm getting a lot of these underwater shots, super easy. It's all done on a GoPro, no problem. Most of the editing, if not 90%, is from my phone. You can find my course on how to shoot underwater in the description below, but it's easier than you think. All right, are you ready for the most unique snorkel on Bonaire? And this is one that is specific to Bonaire as well, which is the Ostracods. The Ostra what? They're basically like 1 millimeter little shrimps. And after the full moon, you gotta time this with the full moon, like the couple days after the full moon, that's when you go out to snorkel and see them. And most people do it as a scuba dive, and we did it out of Red Barrel, so on the south part of the island. And after the full moon, what happens is they mate, and during their mating, it's literally like, actually the closest thing would be bioluminescence, in which they are lighting up and it looks like the night sky, but underwater. And if you're wondering, like, Christine, where's all the footage of this? It's literally impossible to capture. There's like nothing to capture. But it's one of the most unique things you can see in the water, where you have a whole night sky underwater, and when you come up from the snorkel, or look up from the snorkel, you have a whole night sky, because on the south part of the island, there's significantly less development, and there's just a huge opportunity to see a bajillion stars. But the Ostracods are a really unique snorkel that's specific to Bonaire, and you go out maybe 20 minutes after the sun has set. So prepare yourself, be all set up once the sun is going down and then head into the water. And at Red Barrel, they actually had a rope with buoys that snorkelers can kind of hold on to as you're going out, which is really cool. If you want to hear more about this snorkel, I podcasted with Meatball about it. You can catch that in description, as well as so many other Bonaire videos and blog posts available to you. If you have a helpful tip, we're all a community. Add it in the comments below. I'm Christine Lozada. Connect with me if this was helpful. Tell me in the comments below, and tell me when you're headed to Bonaire Island. I'd love to know. I go back every year and I can't wait for my next trip. Go forth, go snorkel, have a great time, and I'll see you in the next adventure. Ciao.